Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
Right there, you've got this, like, little tin can dude. Like, little tin can on stilts.
On stilts, yeah, on stilts.
And, you know, how do you get to be that successful of a bounty hunter when you're just a tin can on stilts?
Yeah.
It's by being the
You
best.
gotta be good.
Yes.
You gotta be the best, yeah.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Todd Hoffman, and this is WSTR Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 62. Today, we're going to talk about our favorite things about Star Wars. Joining me in the discussion today is Mr. Aaron Julian.
Howdy, y'all. I'm back from Nashville.
You're back. You're
That's
back.
awful. I should be ashamed of myself.
Is that a Nashville accent?
Not even close.
Yeah.
But hey, they got some great barbecue. I tell you what.
You got some good barbecue?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. Also with us today is Miss Heather Allred.
Hi, friends.
You don't sound like yourself, Heather. What's going on?
I know. I was trying to think of something clever to be like, my sinuses are stock full of phlegm, but that might be pushing limits. But no.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
true.
It's true.
It's all of it. All of it
all
is
of
true.
it's in there.
Yes. So immediately after this podcast, we're going to dunk you in a back-to-tank and just let you float there for a while.
To be stellar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she is in a back-to-tank right now, and she's doing the podcast in the back-to-tank.
That would be pure commitment, people.
That's right. That's right. Well, you did get called off of work, so you are here.
Goodness.
You are here. So we appreciate your effort there.
Of course.
So once again, you can check us out on social media at WSTR Media. All one word, all lowercase. All right, on to our main topic.
And now for our feature presentation.
Our favorite things, like, you know, with all this negativity and junk in the Star Wars community, I thought it'd be good to just talk about our favorite stuff. And Heather kind of posted, we have our little Facebook group that we kind of talk each other, you know, throughout the week, like what's going on in Star Wars land. And Heather posed a very interesting question, like, what is your favorite character? And I was like super intrigued because I was like, I don't even know Aaron's. Aaron, what is your favorite character?
My favorite character?
Yeah. What is it? Well,
you know, I complain a lot about the Skywalker soap opera.
But it's Luke Skywalker.
No, it's Anakin. It's Darth Vader. Just that, you know, the prequels, the dialogue sucks. Like some of the story points are like, what the heck? But if you take like the broad strokes and the general story arc, like, it's a pretty tragic tale for Anakin, descending into becoming Darth Vader, but then to be able to redeem that later. That's one of the most compelling storylines found in human history. So, I love it. His look is timeless and awesome. But you know, he steps up to the plate when he needs to and redeems himself. So A+.
Fabuloso.
Fabuloso. You passed the hero test.
Yeah. The thing about Anakin too is it's not the most ideal hero journey, but at the end he redeems himself, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a tough road, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Well, that wasn't your answer on the Facebook message. What was your other favorite character?
You know what? Why don't you tell me yours while I search my memory?
You are so bad. Let's go to Heather. Heather, yes. What is your favorite character in Star Wars?
My favorite character is R2-D2.
Wow.
And I don't want that to sound like a classic, girly answer or casual fan answer. I think R2 has so much going on as a droid.
Yeah.
Because when you see him interact with C-3PO, and then, you know, as he meets Luke and then in The Last Jedi, when he gives some, you know, attitude to Luke, it's just, he's got a fun personality. He just doesn't take guff from people. Like, he knows what his mission is. He knows what he's supposed to do. And he's not going to let people stop him just because he's a droid. You gotta like that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That gusto.
Yeah. Speaking of little droids, I remembered I searched my memory banks and I found what I originally said, which is kind of a joke, answer, but I will stand by it nonetheless.
Because I thought you were serious. I thought you were serious.
Kind of.
Yes.
I was like 50% serious.
Okay.
So, IG-88, the little droid who could. So picture this.
I'm picturing it.
Yeah, Darth Vader, he gets the call from the Emperor. He's like, hey, you need to go, you know, capture Han Solo and the gang. And, you know, Darth Vader goes through his Rolodex, you know, calls up his contacts, and he's like, bring me the best of the best, cream of the crop for the bounty hunters. Like, we need to nail this guy. And you got Boba Fett there. You've got, you know, a bunch of other highly esteemed bounty hunters that have not cemented their place in my memory yet. But right there, you've got this like little tin can dude, like little tin can on stilts.
On stilts. And,
you know, how do you get to be that successful of a bounty hunter when you're just a tin can on stilts?
Yeah.
It's by being the best.
You gotta be good.
Yes.
You gotta be the best. Yeah.
And I don't know, like, he must be pretty good for something looking like that to make it to the best of the best.
That's right.
And you can fight against him in a certain Star Wars video game that we may or may not be talking about later.
Right.
So there's that.
Right. There's that. Yeah.
Yes. IG-88.
So he's like a runner. Yeah, he's a runner-up. Okay, since we're doing runner-ups, okay, Heather, what do you have a second favorite?
Oh man.
And don't say BB-8 because that's like too.
It's too close. Obvious.
It's too obvious.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was BB-8, wasn't it?
All right, so I should probably not pick a droid.
Yeah. There's more than droids in the Star Wars universe, Heather. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So noted. I'm going to have to go classic again, and I'm going to have to say Princess Leia.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well done.
As long as Aaron's okay with my answer, then I'm good. No.
Stamped with approval.
I mean, she's... No,
hey, now you don't need my approval.
But yeah, no, she's obviously the backbone, if you will, of what female fandom is for Star Wars, but in that she holds her own with these two men for movies, and character-wise goes up into political ranks and does what she feels is right to rule, and you've got to respect a woman who can do that. So, yeah.
There you go. That's a very
Excellent.
good answer.
Good answer.
Thank you.
We approve.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say for me, it's I gotta go classic as well. Boba Fett. Just love me some Boba Fett. I had to.
Yeah, I had to.
Just love me some Boba Fett. So, yeah, it's just, it's one of those, again, with kind of what like Aaron was saying about, Darth Vader's got all the bounty hunters lined up, and he points right at Boba Fett, and he's like, no disintegrations. You're like, wait a minute. This guy's got something going on, and that there's some history, and really, he's interacting with Vader and not scared of him. And I'm just like, okay, respect. I like this guy, and just like everything about his armor and just the way he looks. He's got like a Wookiee braid on his shoulder, Padron. And I'm like, oh, dude, this guy is something else, And there was I don't know, it was probably like 2000, I guess. They had a Star Wars museum thing at the Field Museum, like a Star Wars exhibit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was like myth, magic, and something like that. And I went, and it was ridiculously cool. But the coolest part of the whole thing is they had the real costume from Empire Strikes Back of Boba Fett. And when I saw it, I was like, like not even a foot away from the glass, or like right by the glass. And I'm just like, I stood there for like a half an hour. I just could not move. I'm just like, this is the most amazing thing. Just the detail in the costume. And Jen, we were just dating at the time. She's like, are you ready to move on? I'm like, no, I'm just going to I'm sitting here. I mean, there were so many, they had such a cool thing. They had a ton of different things. Like they had the real life model of the Star Destroyer and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it was just, there was a crazy amount of cool stuff, but when I got to Boba Fett, I just like could not get away from it. I'm just like, this is amazing. It's so cool. So I really like his look. I really like everything about him. Obviously, I don't like how he ended. George just threw him in a pit, which I didn't like, but that's okay. But I really like Boba Fett. And then my runner-up is an also obvious choice, but I just love the look of the Stormtrooper. There's just something about the Stormtrooper armor that is... And it kind of goes with Boba Fett as well. It's just like, I just love the look, the faceless soldier, but that everyone copies, in any kind of sci-fi. It's like getting that look of the Stormtrooper. And it's like, yeah, that's their Stormtrooper, but, it's just something about it. It looks, at first you're like, is it a robot? Are they robot guys? Or are they not? They're just, and they kind of have that militant look. And there's just something about it I just love. And I just fell in love with the Stormtrooper. So those are my two somewhat obvious choices, but yeah. Yes. All right. Aaron, we kind of mentioned this. You kind of dropped it already. So favorite video game. Oh man.
I was actually playing this not too long ago before I got home. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. Now, I've got some bias towards this game because I played it as a kid on the Nintendo 64, and boy howdy, it was a thrill ride. The controls sucked and it looked awful.
I didn't care.
I was a little kid, and it's like, and so it's based on the novel of the same name.
The in between,
it's from the perspective
between Empire
of
and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, you're playing as Dash Rendar, who he's a friend of Han's, a mercenary, and he's helping out the rebellion just for the money, and he gets kind of tangled up in this whole plot between Prince Chizor and the Black Sun Syndicate, like this crime organization who's plotting to kill Darth Vader and basically take the throne. Meanwhile, they're trying to find Han and rescue him and blah, blah, blah. So, and so you play as Dash Rendar and you go and you shoot dudes and it's a lot of fun. Dudes.
Yeah.
And, and recently I found out they have a PC port of it on Steam, which is actually pretty decent. You got to kind of do some fiddling to make the controls work with a modern controller, but yeah, it works. The game's even better at a reasonable frame rate, and it doesn't look like garbage. It still kind of looks like garbage, but well-aged garbage. And so, but it's nice. It's a heck of a lot of fun. Amazing. That's probably the first one. And if we're still doing honorable mentions,
for you, anything.
Probably, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. I'm treating it as one game, but you just can't get a better, in-depth Star Wars story than that. And I'll stand by that.
I'm sticking to it.
Will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. Heather, do you play games?
I am not a video gamer. I'm a board gamer. When it comes to
there's plenty of Star Wars board games.
So unfortunately, I don't have a favorite video game because I haven't played any of them. And
can I suggest a board game for you?
Suggest a board game for me.
Yes. So it's called Star Wars X-Wing. It's like a miniatures
I've seen
game.
that.
And yeah, I'll send you a video. It's a lot of fun. My brother's got it. Basically, you've got little miniatures that have like these translucent stands that you put them on, and you have like a big old play area, and you use like these pre-cut movement markers. They're like curved or straight pieces of cardboard that you set where the front of your model is, and then you just take it to the end, and that determines what kind of move you make. Depending on what ships you have, they have a different set of moves available to them, and you basically just it's all about maneuvering and putting yourself in the right location to, shoot the other person's ships before they shoot yours. It's a lot of fun.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And so once you get the rules down, like it plays pretty quickly and it's a lot of fun.
I'll have to check that out.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. Well, Aaron, I'm going to have to go with Dark Forces. So this came out in 1995. This is right after the whole Doom release, and LucasArts basically re-engineered the Doom engine, and they called it the Jedi engine, which is appropriate, and it follows a Kyle Katarn, and he's a former Imperial stormtrooper, and he's hired by the Rebel Alliance to steal the Death Star plans, Rogue One, and he goes on kind of discovers this whole new trooper that's called a Dark Trooper, and it is pretty dope. And unlike Doom, you could look up and down. You had a secondary fire, and you can jump, and it was all kind of Star Wars, and it was all MIDI, awesome music, and it's just it really sticks with me. It really resonates with me, and it was tough and fun and just all kinds of Star Wars. So that's definitely on my my top list.
Well, I got some good news for you.
What's that, bud?
Dark Forces is on Steam.
Oh,
so if you wanted to play it on your PC,
I could.
You could do it.
I could do it. I'm actually going another. If we're going to do an honorable mention, I'm also going to say X-Wing Flight Simulator.
Ooh,
it is so good. I must have played hours of it. It was so terribly hard. But you basically control an X-Wing and you get to fly around. It's like a flight simulator.
Nice.
You got to protect ships, and the Imperials will always blow up these ships, and you're like, no, you had to like protect cargo freighters and all this kind of stuff, and you got to manage your shields and your engines, and oh my gosh, it was dogfighting and fun for the whole family, and hours and hours and hours of hours reported into that game for me, and I love it. I love it. I love it.
Did you play with a flight stick?
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
That's the way.
Yes. That's the way. That's the only way to do it.
Excellent.
Yeah. I just felt, they really captured the essence of like, going to dogfights and fighting battles and being your X-Wing, so.
Awesome.
Okay. What's going kind of along the character? What is like, Heather, what is your favorite like costume or, like it's kind of character, but like, costume or
Oh man.
Sorry. I know these are tough.
Right.
These are tough.
Right.
These are tough.
Well. It's hard. Oh man. You may have like legitly stumped me.
Yes,
man.
Already.
I'll buy you some time. See, I've got an answer.
All right, go ahead, Aaron.
Okay,
we'll come back, Heather.
Okay.
This comes from Rogue One. It's
okay.
So in Jeddah, there's a group of pilgrims that
yes,
got like the red robes, and there's a bunch of them. The one particularly that I like the most, her name is Sylvani Fest, Phest, and she's got like the red robe with like this dark gray, like obsidian looking like slab of a helmet, which is like it's like very angular, comes to a point, and then has like these little like a little slit to look through, and she's got like a metal hand and a staff, and it looks super cool. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, and they like there's when they're going through Jeddah, they kind of show, and one of them looks at the camera.
Yeah, that's the one. So
right, like like a priest thing. Yeah.
It reminds me of an album art cover, but I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, okay. Is it metal?
It's like prog rock.
Okay, well, it's close.
Yeah, so I'll look for it. That's cool. Todd, do you have an answer?
This one is like once you kind of go down these paths, it's like there's too many, and I don't know where to stop or where to begin. So I really like. It's so funny. I think it's more the sound effect, but I like. Now it's the Imperial agent that gives the location of them in A New Hope. He's like he's a Cubez. He's got like the big elephant nose, and he's like,
oh yeah, he's got like the
what was that
snout?
What's his name?
Oh man,
yeah.
I'll look it up. But
that guy,
the cover the album art cover I'm looking for is Argus by Wishbone Ash.
Okay,
it's very cool. It's got like this. It looks like a Roman soldier on the front. You see him from the back, and it's just like a red cape, and he's got like the dark helmet and a spear, and super cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So his name is Gardinian.
Ooh,
Gardinian, and his species is a Kubaz. So yeah, I think it's just weird enough for me in Star Wars that I love the little sound. Like you don't expect that little sound that come from him.
Yeah.
And he just talks into comlink, and the Imperial agents or the Imperial stormtroopers like, oh yeah, we know what you said, and they show up. And
I think what's particularly cool about Star Wars costumes is that it's kind of a mix of the new and the old. So especially on Tatooine, you've got a mix of like Western movie, tropes, and then they throw in like goggles and glasses and like metal and a bunch of different kind of stuff, and it's like, oh, like it looks plausible for an alien to actually be wearing this every day. Correct. Yeah, it's not like completely out of place. It's like, oh, that kind of makes sense, I don't know. But there's so many other, I guess costumes that are like pretty dope, but all right, okay. Heather.
Yes.
Have you come up with an answer?
I have.
Okay.
So I have a big fan status for Queen Amidala's complete wardrobe.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now some of them are like, what were you smoking when you designed that? And I get that.
Right.
They are like way out there.
Way out there.
But visually they're stunning pieces. But one of my favorites, so I'll use that for my favorite for tonight is
Right.
It's a like very deep navy. I believe it's her Senate outfit. One of the times that she was. It's been a while since I've seen the prequels, but I believe it's a Senate.
Fine. I think I know what you mean.
And she's got the gold choker, and then like a gold contraption on her head where her hair is all pulled back.
Yeah.
It's potentially the most regal that she's ever looked as Queen Amidala, in my opinion. I like the other ones were very flamboyant, very much trying to make a grander statement, where this one seems to be the most adult costume.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
for
cool.
her.
Looks like it's called her Senate dress.
Okay, so yes, so the Senate dress, the Navy Senate dress, because it's got a lot of amazing detail in it too.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that's
and stuff. So
that's definitely one thing about the prequels. Like as we progress through the movies, like they get better and better as far as costumes. You know, like like Aaron brought up, like a lot of it in the original trilogy is definitely lived in and they're plausible, but like. When you get to the prequels, there's a lot of ceremony and pomp and circumstance, and Queen Amidala and the Booyans definitely filled that, and her outfits are on point. They're on point.
Mm-hmm. Well, because even if you look at like Padme, her like helper and all of her little minions, I mean they're in such royal colors and crushed velvets, and they're all like to a T pulled together. So costume wise, that's probably my favorite section.
Nice. Yeah.
I'll say it that way.
I'm on board. Good.
Awesome.
All right. Kind of going along the same line. All right. What is your favorite alien species?
Ooh.
Aaron, you got, I mean, we could actually do like 3 because of like original tridge,
Yeah, you got a point there.
It's like prequels, like.
I think, one of them, this is in no particular order. So I don't know how to rank these, but one of them would have to be the Rhodians, or what Greedo looks like.
Yeah, that's a Rhodian.
Because it's very... like 50s pulp sci-fi, but so I really appreciate that, kind of like the big old bug eyes and this little mosquito mouth, and is like really long fingers with the suction cups on the end. Really like he somehow operates a blaster with that thing, but, whatever, it works.
Whatever. That's a good choice. I like that.
Then whatever, I guess from the prequels, whatever species, not Kit Fisto, Plo Koon. Whatever Plo Koon is, yeah. So he's got like that, he needs that respirator in order to speak. And it's just very like angular, but somehow looks like a nautical creature.
Yeah, Keldor.
Very weird.
Keldor.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
So
that's from the planet Doran, just in case you wanted to know.
Interesting. Got to keep that in my back pocket for Star Wars trivia night.
right. That's cool. That's cool.
I guess the one other one would be like the Acklay, the big praying mantis looking thing that tries to kill Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Great sound for him too.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I can still hear it.
Thank you, Ben Burt. I love you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, Heather, what's you got any favorite alien species?
Yeah. I love the Jawas.
Oh, I knew it.
They're so mischievous. And I feel like they always look like they're going to get into trouble, which makes me happy. We're just like,
that's awesome.
I don't know if you guys can't see what I'm doing, so I will stop.
Yeah.
But I also really love the banthas.
Oh yeah, the big elephant-looking things.
The big like the ram people.
Well, it was an elephant. It was an elephant.
That's the joke.
I know. I'm sorry. I missed it.
Yeah. So I enjoyed them as well. And then whatever Maz is.
Yeah. Yeah. She's something.
She's part of an alien species, which, since she's not human, I'm going to go with she's part of some alien species.
Well played. Well played.
Thank you.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I think she's kind of in the Yoda category where it's actually not a named species at this point, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Just there. Very good. Very good. Okay. I'm going actually, The Force Awakens. They're called Bendidos, and they have like, I'm trying to think. Oh, like he's one of the pilots, with Poe, and he's like, there's no damage. Like he's one of those guys. And, his name was, Hello Asti, which is a play off of,
Hello
Beastie
Nasty.
Boys. Yeah, Hello Nasty. And a Bendido is also a play off of Beastie Boys because it's Meshach. It's like a play off of
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
Yes, yeah. I just love the look. It's just a cool, like, kind of amphibian kind of look, and
He also kind of looks like a horse.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I love. Yeah. It's weird. It's Star Wars. It's awesome. I really like that from the new stuff. Man, there's just so many cool. If I have to go prequels, I'm gonna say the Caminos. I just loved. Again,
choice.
it kind of goes. Yeah, it kind of goes back to what you're saying, Aaron. Like it's a very simple kind of alien, but I just loved how they walked. They did a really good job of like almost
very
graceful and elegant, and I just really like the look. It's a classic kind of long neck, big eyes, but still Star Wars enough for me that I'm just like, oh yeah. Man, original Tridge. It's so hard. There's so many. Tusken Raider. Just love me some Tusken Raiders. I just love that look. Again, it's kind of that, kind of humanoid, but like still really different and weird and kooky. And I just really love their sound, their look, and I like that. Love me some Tusken Raiders. So
Well done.
Yeah. Okay, moving right along. Like favorite weapon. Aaron, what's your favorite weapon in Star Wars?
Hands down, it's got to be Han's blaster, the DL-44.
Ooh, the DL-44, yes.
Yes. So it's based off
choice.
It's based off the beautiful, if not totally functional, C-96 Mauser that the Germans used in World War One. It's got the magazine in front of the trigger for the gun, which is very unusual. But it's just a gorgeous gun. I love it. Love its sound effect. Love its look. Han's got like the modified version with the scope on it, and the low riding holster and that. So awesome. It's like dignified and powerful, and also like a Old West six shooter all in one. Yeah, it's like it's iconic. I love it.
Love me some DL-44. Heather, do you have a favorite weapon?
So I remember when I was first introduced to Star Wars with my brother and him telling me all about lightsabers, and I'm like, yeah, those are cool. But then I saw the dual lightsaber, and I was like, okay, that one's really cool.
That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah, so I really dig the dual lightsaber. I may have had a little geeky moment when I first saw that, because I just felt like it upped its game in your ability to fight, to not just be aware of one lightsaber, or one beam. You have to focus on two now.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, I pretty much lost my mind when, Darth Maul is wielding, and in the trailer, the first trailer, he ignites the second end, you're just like, my mind is blown. It's like,
man.
It was just
filmed really cool. I just remember it being like really silent and this like still shot of him, and then it went like zoom, and you're like, holy cow, someone's gonna die.
That
good.
just happened. Yeah.
This is getting out of hand. Now there's two of them.
Right, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Any honorable mentions, or you just like the?
I don't know that I have any honorable mentions. I mean,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with. There's a couple different guns that the Sand Troopers have, but they have some big old blasters, and one of them is the Blast Tech T-21. And it's also based off a real gun, which is a British Lewis light machine gun. And it's got a couple cosmetic changes, but overall it is just amazing. And I'm just like, oh, love me some big old blasters that stormtroopers are holding, you know? Yeah, it's just a fun big gun. The other thing you mentioned, lightsabers, Kylo Ren's lightsaber is balls to the wall awesome. It's just a cool, again, kind of going to that medieval look, and just the sound, and it's a little bit rough, and it fits its character, and that's what I think is also kind of appropriate, you know, just how Darth Maul's lightsaber fits him. I feel like Kylo's lightsaber fits him very well, and yeah, it's just an awesome weapon.
What about Count Dooku's saber?
Ooh,
with like the fencing grip.
Yes, the curved blade.
Oh,
it's
awesome.
Yeah. I guess we could do like a whole episode on lightsabers. Okay, well, let's look at
We could.
Yeah, but
nobody got time for that.
Visual press. Yeah, we don't have time for that. But yeah, you're right. Count Dooku's is pretty on point for sure. All right, Aaron, I don't think you have any. I know we talked about this before, but
yeah. Do
you have a favorite action figure? Do you have action figures there?
I didn't really own any when I was a kid, but I had a friend.
Yeah.
You had a friend. I had a friend who had a bunch, and what he did, he had a bunch. This is right around episode 3.
Sure.
He had a bunch of clone troopers that he would like custom paint to like different configurations than you would see in the movie, and they would look awesome. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, I guess I would just say like the different clone trooper variants that you had.
Yeah.
Some of them had like different armor pieces. Some of them had different paint jobs and different rank insignias and everything. But yeah, that would probably be my favorite, just because how customizable you could be with them, and you can make up different characters and have different stories and stuff like that. So
yeah, no,
I mean that's the whole.
That's what action.
Isn't that the whole point of action figures?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah. Heather, did you have any Star Wars action figures?
I didn't really growing up. Obviously, I had 2 older brothers who, you know, I tried to play with their toys, but as the little sister, that's what you do.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. So kind of as a grown up, though, I mean, I have an R2 and a BB-8 droid toy, which I don't know if that would be classed as a figure per se, but but for me that would probably be my equivalent of that, since I never went down really the action figure realm, and since I didn't own any Star Wars Barbies, I can't really claim that either.
Right? No. You didn't modify any of your Barbies into like, you know, make your own clothes to have like Star Wars clothes, you know?
I didn't. I should have though. So
it's okay. It's all good.
A failure, but yeah. So not really action figures, but I do have some toys. But
yeah. For me, I mean, it's more or less the story behind the action figure than really the action figure itself. But so I went to Star Wars Celebration 3, which was in Indianapolis, and they had an exclusive action figure for that event, and it was the Darth Vader, and they had James Earl Jones record new dialogue for this figure, and it was like on his face, and he pushed a button, and James Earl Jones in his Darth Vader voice would say all these cool little action things, and I was like, I have to have this one, So the only way you could get it was you had to have a badge, and then you could get a figure, So I scammed the system basically and gathered all my, I had a couple friends, and then Jen, my wife, and Jordan. I grabbed all their badges, and I got up at 3:00 in the morning and waited in line for hours with other people, and basically I literally got 16 Darth Vaders, and it was amazing.
Wow. It's like a whole army of them.
It was a whole army, and I gave away it for presents and stuff like that, because I know a lot of people couldn't go to Celebration 3, so I was like, hey, here's a Darth Vader, and it's pretty awesome. And it was fun because I was getting up at the butt crack of dawn to be with other fellow nerds to get in line to get this action figure. It was just a lot of fun. It was just a cool kind of Star Wars moment, and that's definitely one of my favorite action figures, because it's really just the experience of that, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool Darth Vader. So, okay. Favorite book. Heather, do you have a favorite Star Wars book?
I don't have a favorite Star Wars book. I know. It's okay. This is where my Star Wars card gets checked at every stop point.
We'll get you there.
We'll get you. We're getting you there, man. It's
getting me there. We're getting me there.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I definitely, through you guys, know of some good ones. I'm definitely intrigued by the one that I believe was recently published. I believe about Leia.
Yes.
That I think, Todd, you just finished or something.
Yes,
my memory is correct on the cold medicine. So there's definitely a lot on the read list.
There's so many books. That's the thing, and for a beginner, it's where
do you start? Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, well, and actually today of this recording, The Last Jedi just came out.
What?
Yes. So
have to it.
Read that. Hop to it. But it's called Princess Leia of Alderaan, and you need to read that book. It will change your life. Yeah.
Perfect.
Aaron, book. Do you read?
Sometimes when I'm not reading other things for school. So it was Shadows of the Empire was my favorite novel, which by the way, unusual for a book, came with its own soundtrack.
Lucasfilm basically made everything except the movie. That was the idea. Mm-hmm. They lost, they went and did a video game, a book, a soundtrack, action figures, the whole nine, except
no movie. Yeah.
It was very ambitious.
Yes. So that's pretty cool in and of itself, but
it is.
I'm halfway through Heir to the Empire by our dear old friend Timothy Zahn, and it's so good. So good.
Amazing. Yep.
What about you, Todd?
Is this your first time reading it? Oh my gosh.
I know. I got it for Christmas, and I'm just now getting to it.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's mine, dude. That's what got me, I guess, back into it. Because there was a dark time after 83.
Yeah.
Because I'm old and stuff. That came out in 91, dude, and it just blew my mind. And I never I think I talked about this before, but I never really read, and but that really started my interest in reading, and I haven't looked back since. But yeah, that's a really good read. and Timothy Zahn is like my hero, and it's really good. So, I Jedi is a really good one. It's Legends now, but that came out in like 98, and it follows a Jedi called Karan Horn, and it's just it's a first person perspective of like a Jedi, and it's just so good. It's really good. Another one, I mean, again, there's so many books, but like another one that's really good, and it's part of again, this is Legends now, but it's like part of the New Jedi Order trilogy, not trilogy, New Jedi Order is like 16 books. It's like, but there's one called Traitor, and it's around Jason Solo, who's one of Han and Leia's kids, and he's discovering the Force, and there's just a lot of like deep Force stuff in this book, and it's just like, what is the Force and all that kind of stuff, and it's just by Matthew Stover. It came out 2002. It's so good. It's like the best. So yeah. So Heather, I have a library downstairs. So anytime you want to, or even Aaron, if you want to borrow books, I got books. I got books.
Alrighty. Might take you up on that.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like I have it's like a mini Barnes and Noble down there. You can peruse, and yeah, I just love books. I love. I mean, because it just expands the story, expands the characters, and it opens your mind. All right, Aaron, we did this a long time ago. Like I'm talking episode 13, bro. Like way back. Yeah. We did our like top 3, musical soundtracks of Star Wars.
Yes.
So we're gonna let Heather go first. Like, do you have a favorite like musical piece or theme that you like in the old Star Wars?
I mean, Darth Vader, the fact that you just know he's coming. I mean, that's pretty classic.
Yeah, it is pretty classic, yes.
I remember growing up being like, where's my theme music every time I walked into a room?
Right, exactly.
The menacing music. So that one definitely, just sticks with you.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I don't know if this counts, but the opening crawl, just that initial...
Oh, boom.
The initial beat, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it.
It's happening.
It's happening. So those two, I would say, I know probably all the fans would say those two, but they're high on the list for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that is not the most popular music, though. Actually,
really.
Yeah, the most popular one is Duel of Fates.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least on our research that we did when we did way back in episode 13.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. But
yeah.
So those would be my top 2. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Those are solid.
Right. So you can't go wrong.
No. So Aaron, I know we did like a top 3 back then, but like, is there anything new or anything like that was kind of outside of your top 3 that you like?
No, not really.
Well, what were your top 3 again? Do you remember?
No, go listen to the episode in stunning stereo.
You're like, no, listeners, just listen to episode 13.
Yes. You got time for this episode, you got time for that one.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's awesome. You're like, no, just listen. I know which one. I mean, I remember it's the one from episode 1, at the end with the...
Oh, yes.
The march.
Yeah. It's got the stupidest name too, so I can never remember what it is.
It does have a kind of crazy. It's the end theme of
the end, like Victory March.
Yes,
it's like
see, yeah. You don't need, we don't need to insert the music. You just play it right there. That's the best, Yeah. I have a new one because like we I trooped at a thing over the summer and they were playing like a bunch of John Williams music, and I heard Yoda's theme live for and I don't know, it just hit me. I maybe it was because I'm in a stormtrooper outfit and I'm interacting with a bunch of Star Wars fans, and they played a bunch of different songs, but that Yoda's theme is just gets me every time. It's like,
did your heart grow 3 times? It
did. Yeah, it did. It grew. I felt like the Grinch. I was like,
oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, anyways, I really, out of the other, go listen to episode 13 to hear my other top 3. But honorable mention, definitely Yoda's theme. So, all right. Any other favorites that you want to mention? Because I think we went through a lot there. I don't know if you got. Maybe one more. Maybe all right. Last one.
Yeah,
last one.
I don't know the name of it, but it's the bit that plays in Empire when they're in the Millennium Falcon going through the asteroid field trying to escape the TIE fighters.
Oh yes.
It's like that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. That's it. That's the one.
Whatever that's called.
I think it's called. I literally think it's called Asteroid Field, but don't.
Okay.
don't quote me on that. There you go. All right, our last favorite thing. Favorite vehicle.
Vehicle.
All right. Which I can never spell. Never. It's
that's
like
right, you can't.
One of the worst. It's the ones
you have to say it vehicle to know how to
spell it.
That's honestly how I remember to spell it. It's stupid, but it works.
All right, Heather. Vehicle.
Yes.
What kind of vehicle? What vehicle in Star Wars?
What vehicle? I assume these vehicles, excuse me, can be ones that fly. Correct.
Yes, it could be a starship,
or they scoot along the ground.
Okay. Definitely opens it up. All right, well then I will provide 2. I will provide a flying option and an on-ground option for you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Well, trying to fully rounded answer here, people.
Yes.
I love me an AT-AT.
Oh.
I mean, anything that looks like something else. It's just what it is, people.
Yeah,
I've got
digging the camel look
to it.
Yeah,
it's just, I mean,
it's a walking tank.
What can a walking tank? Come on,
Can't beat that.
You can't beat that.
And it gets an honorable mention in Captain America: Civil War. So
this is true.
Really,
it's a win.
Yeah.
Yes,
when does this occur?
Peter Parker. When they had
when Ant-Man's really big.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of the TIE fighters.
Oh, interesting.
Purely for aesthetic reasons.
You're right. They're a classic.
I'm right?
Mm-hmm.
There's something very poetic about how they fly. They seem to glide very smoothly. And to be so large on either side, but still be very delicate looking. 2 thumbs up from Heather.
Wow. Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a classic.
Can't go wrong with the classics.
No, you can't. Aaron.
Well, I will say this much.
Please.
Kylo Ren's TIE, what's it called? TIE Destroyer or something?
TIE Silencer?
That's the one. That's
the one.
Super cool. I love that one. Honorable mention.
Pretty dope, actually. Yeah.
Is that wheel thing that General Grievous tries to escape from or escape with on Utapau? Yes. Like, that doesn't get enough love. Sure, it's impractical.
That one's dope, dude.
Sure, it needs a kickstand in order for you to park it, but by golly, it's
by golly,
there's nothing else like it.
Right, exactly. No, that's good. That's very good. Oh man, AT-AT's number one. So for me too, Heather, I love it. Go B-Wing.
Ooh.
It's
unconventional.
Yes, it's not really shown too much. They had a really hard time showing it on Return of the Jedi, just because of the green screen and the way it looked. They couldn't really capture it too much, so it's only in a couple scenes, and I really like that. But speaking about TIE fighters, I just love me some TIE bombers. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the dual fuselage, like one is where the pilot is and the one's where the bombs, and it's got the kind of curved wings and all that stuff.
Always remind me of like a motor sidecar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I give another honorable mention?
You sure can.
There's so many vehicles in Star Wars.
I know.
The vulture droids from episode 3. Those guys that like, you know, they got like the big stilts so they can walk on, but then they just like jump up and they turn into things that fly. And then they deploy the little like buzzsaw droids that like, you know, clamp onto ships and like tear it apart. And it's so cool.
Yes.
Very insectoid.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They kind of almost are autonomous, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good word.
Yeah. That's awesome. Very good. Very good. All right. Well, I think we covered a lot of favorites. There's so many to cover in the Star Wars space, but it's that was fun.
Yes. Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome. Absolutely. And we want to know, listeners, we want to know your favorites. So let us know, man. What would be your favorites? All right. Moving on to news of the week.
And now, the Star Wars News of the Week.
All right, first up, the Oscars were this last Sunday on March 4th.
Yes, they were.
True.
And The Last Jedi was nominated in 4 categories. So, yeah, they didn't win any of them.
Man.
Yeah, so Best Sound Editing went to Dunkirk.
Congratulations.
Yes, Mr. Nolan. Best Sound Mixing also went to Dunkirk. So, yeah, there's those 2. And then Best Visual Effects, Blade Runner 2049.
Well deserved, in my opinion.
Yes. And then Best Musical Score, our John Williams was up for that. And the winner was Shape of Water. Did you? I didn't see that film. Did any of you see that? Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah. Well, I won a bunch of stuff, so I guess it was good. So you basically have to go back to 1981, the last time Star Wars won an Oscar. And that was for Empire Strikes Back, Best Sound Mixing. A New Hope won 6 Oscars. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that is insane, actually. And Return of the Jedi did win an Oscar for Special Achievement for Visual Effects. So it's not the standard category, but it won a special achievement. So, yeah. So it's been a minute since Star Wars won, an Oscar. But it always seems every year that they are in, there's always some heavy competition. So, any of those can win. That's why they're nominated for Oscars, but it only goes to, there can only be one. So,
well, even being nominated for an Oscar is a, achievement in itself.
It is
Very
because
true.
you think about the scope of all the movies that are out there, and to be, the top 5 or 4 is pretty impressive of itself, so. Just one of these days, they will get it, so. Also on hand at the Oscars were Oscar Isaac, Mark Hamill, and Kelly Marie Tran, and a certain droid named BB-8 presented a couple awards. So yeah, they were on hand to do that, and Jimmy Kimmel hosted, and he did a little surprise. There was they had a theater across the street showing A Wrinkle of Time, a sneak peek, and they took a bunch of stars and went over there and handed them out candy and dispensed hot dogs and sandwiches and all this kind of stuff. And Mark Hamill was one of the participants in that. And as Kimmel's walking down the aisle, I was like, yeah, they would love to see Luke Skywalker. Come on, you know. So,
that's awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So yeah, little Star Wars love at an Oscar. All right, number 2 on the list. This is super sad news. But John Williams said Episode 9 will be his last Star Wars score.
Oh, breaking my heart. Can't do this, man.
I can't do this.
I know you're like 90, but come on, man.
Come on,
man.
Well,
come on, man. I
know we knew this would happen eventually.
Yeah.
You know, the Disney machine can only put out so much.
Well, and he, like you said, I mean, he's at a point. He's been doing soundtracks since like the 60s or even before then, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just he is. The amount of music he's done and just all the classic stuff is just like it's mind blowing, you know.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane. But we do get it. I mean, he is doing a Han Solo theme piece for Han Solo, which is awesome. That was a little surprise that came out a couple months ago. So he's doing a little piece for Han Solo, just the theme for Solo, and then he's going to score Episode 9, and then it's finito.
And it's done. But he's built an amazing legacy and, you know, closing out the Skywalker chapters. So
yes. Yeah.
It's a good way to go, I suppose.
Well, and because you have, you know, obviously you have George Lucas, you have Ralph McQuarrie, who, you know, designed all the concept artists. He's the concept artist of making George Vision come to life. You have Ben Burt that brought all the sound, and John Williams with the music. Those are the 4 key cornerstones of the whole thing, and he's the last one basically still doing it, and it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad. Man. I mean, it's but he for leaves, old Johnny. Johnny. Yeah, he leaves it. I mean, his legacy alone is also part of what makes, you know, Star Wars magical and fun, and you know, it's pretty cool. And then finally, there was Charles Barkley, ex basketball player, hosted Saturday Night Live last weekend, and they called it. It was actually a Star Wars skit that they did, and it was called Mos Eisley 5. So actually, JJ like introduced it and saying like, hey, you know, before you see Han Solo, you got to check out, and before you see Episode 9 as well, you know, you got to check out Mos Eisley 5. And they kind of went all out and did like elaborate Star Wars-esque kind of costumes and, you know, everything like that. And the gag, though, the joke is that Barkley plays an old Jedi, and he can't understand any of the languages. So that's the joke. So basically, he's saying, wait, you guys say that language and then you repeat it in English. How do you know what they're saying? And he can't understand it. And that's the whole kind of gag through the whole thing. And it's pretty funny. It's worth it's not like, you know, rolling on the floor, but it's still, I mean, it's Star Wars, and it is pretty on point. Like, you know, everyone can understand everything except, you know, except the audience. Like, wait a minute, you understand Wookiee, droid, and all that stuff. And yeah, so
we'll drop a link to it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, moving on to Cantina Chat. Aaron, you've been gone for a little bit, so any any update on the RPG Star Wars thing?
Well, we had midterms, and then I had my little escapade to Nashville, so nothing on that front.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess as far as Star Wars stuff, I mean, getting into Heir of the Empire.
Yep.
And really enjoying that, and then I guess just as I mentioned, rediscovering Shadows of the Empire. It's been really fun. So. Cool. I am back home, and I might just dig out my N64 and boot that up and have a go at it in the original form.
It's like, Aaron, what you do for 2 weeks? I played Shadows of the Empire 5 times.
I will not be ashamed of that.
No, right. Yeah, that train level, dude, though, that's the worst one.
Oh, it was harder than I remembered.
yes, exactly.
Gotta make the jump, and you just right into the trash pile.
I know. It's like I feel like programmers back in the day were just cruel individuals. You're like,
they knew. They knew
because
it's like the way the game works is your lives carry over from one map to the next, and so like if it's game over, you got to start that level over.
Right.
But if you like don't have enough lives to continue to like make it through. Yeah. Without just colossally screwing it up, like you got to go back more levels to like get through with more lives at the end so that they carry over to later levels. It's a headache. But the train level is a pretty early one, and so the first few levels you can get all the bonus tokens and stuff and build up like 15 extra lives. Yeah. But if you're not careful, you can lose like all of those on the train level, and so you're just screwed for the rest of the game because it's like. You already got all the bonus lives on the easy levels. Like how are you going to get a bunch on the harder ones? So
it's a Ponzi scheme, I tell you. It's a whole
they know.
They know. Heather, what's going on in your realm?
Well, as previously stated,
yes,
I've been down with this cold since Saturday, so it's been
the sickness.
Monday 4. Woohoo. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just like watch a movie, maybe like fall asleep or something.
Right.
And in doing so, basically had to like reorganize all my movies. Because like you pull one out and you don't put it back in its appropriate spot, so they're really just sort of everywhere.
Sure, yeah.
So I kind of went through and I made a list of all of the movies in like Marvel and Star Wars world that I'm missing, that need to be filled in.
These are important things. This is awesome. Yeah.
Just gotta make sure that I have everything I'm supposed to have.
Right, exactly.
So, because I wasn't sure, I realized I don't own Rogue One. I'm not quite sure how that happened.
What?
I know. I have a Force Awakens. I don't have Rogue One, so clearly that will need to be rectified. So I'm glad that I did that little project. I do have Netflix, so it is on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on there.
Right. Yeah.
So, which is probably why I didn't buy it right away, thinking, oh, it's on Netflix, I'll be okay. But that was my big discovery, was that there's some holes in my
in your Marvel and Star Wars universe.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you end up watching any movies, or did you just organize? You're like, I'm tired, I need to go to bed now.
I actually ended up discovering this television show called Leverage. That I loved. It's no longer on the air. There were 5 seasons, and I have them on DVD. And I forgot that I owned them, so I started rewatching Leverage.
Like, I'm like, I'm watching it. Nice, that's awesome.
So
hey man,
sadly,
when you're sick, you got to do these things.
I'm just saying. So
nice. For me, just I'm catching up on comics, so I'm reading a ton of Star Wars comics that I need to read that have been out for a while. So I'm just kind of catching up with that. I'm on my train rides, so got a lot of catching up to do. So I've been reading through that and enjoying that. So That's pretty much it. I mean, every day is Star Wars Day. It's every day Star Wars Day. So, but yeah. So, Aaron, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, dude. Let's get to it. Thanks again for listening to another episode of WSTR Podcast. Once again, you could check us out on social media, WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase. We want to hear from you, so please comment, tweet, rate us on iTunes. You can also email us at wstrpodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. That way you can leave us a voicemail and we could play it on an upcoming podcast. You could catch the back catalog of all of our episodes at wstrmedia.libsyn.com. That's wstrmedia.libsyn.com. Now you know all the ways to get a hold of us. Next week, we're going to talk about Luke's exit strategy in Return of the Jedi. Now this is podcasting. We're all sick. We're not going to make it. Oh, man.